the benefit for the sentient beings. That is like insuppressible things. When we be in the path of liberation, and also it's like a best source of happiness and the best cause of also enlightenment. It is bodhicitta. And yesterday we studied how we purified all our obscurations comes from the evil actions. There is different evil action or the negative actions through the like naturally or according the violation Buddha's edicts, so on. And of course, sometimes maybe we say, I'm quite good person. I never done some negative things. But maybe that is the truth in this life. But who knows? Yesterday there is one mentioned like without like the time, the beginning of the when we wander into the samsara, and then there's many different we took life, and during this traveling or during this journey, surely there is different naturally we done some negative things. For instance, generally animals, maybe they haven't got any wish, they haven't got any idea what is the negative, and for example, they're killing each other, they're eating each other. Of course it is negative, but they haven't got any idea what is the right, what is the wrong. But also when they are harming to the other sentient beings, that is like kind of natural negative action. Surely there is kind of the effect or the defects. And like this, when we are reborn any different type of the beings, we haven't got notion of what is right or wrong, and probably we involved a lot of different negative actions. And therefore, and the beginningless of the time enter now, it's a whatever we act, negative actions, and according that we have such kind of obscurations. These things are, it is to clean up, purified. In this moment, it is very important, very, very important. And of course, sometimes we complain to the lamas and teachers and saying like, I cannot to follow the rules, and this and that. I want to be more freedom. I don't believe the causalities. I don't care about what is the Buddha said, what is the Lama says. They all the time is this is right, this is wrong, and blah blah. But it is true. But we need to take our own individual responsibility to become the evil person or we will become Buddha or we will become good or bad, entirely depends on ourselves. This is the truth. In the Buddhist kind of the viewpoint, and if we do not change, we do not follow, we do not listen to the teaching any, and what can Buddha to do it? Enlightened being, but very difficult to help to us. What he can do, even his cousin brother Devadatta, how much he is problemed, but he all the time is competition with Buddha, challenge Buddha. He cannot to accept. He is thinking Buddha is a tricky person. And then it's just before he died, and then he understood negative actions. And then he said, Buddha, you are my cousin. Can you help me? Then he said, it's okay, you need to put kind of the trust. Whatever I said, you accept. Otherwise, what can I do? Therefore, I sending message. I cannot take sentient beings suffering by my hand. I cannot wash sentient beings' obscuration by water. I choose to give methods. Please to accept that. Then you can to make perfect yourself. Your guide is yourself. Your protector is yourself. Your liberator is yourself. This is really truth. And we kind of tidy up to be gentle, to be precise, and vigilantly, or mindfulnessly, and to do everything. Maybe we are now studying Dharma, what is the right, what is the wrong, and to have perfect discriminating wisdom. And then it doesn't matter someone say you good or bad, and you are good, someone criticize sending message and over the world. It doesn't matter, it doesn't affect to you. If you are doing yourself bad things, even the 100 billions 10 direction Buddhas coming together, how they can to help to us. This is kind of the obvious. Generally speaking, we say we are pray Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, can you help me? That is when we take the refuge, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha is the perfect, ultimate source of refuge is the Dharma. It is not kind of the Buddha, or it's kind of the Sangha. Actually, of course, it's there is a relative Buddha and the absolute Buddha. This kind of in the relative Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni, and external Buddha are kind of teachers. They are externally just to give to our condition, and in order to we understand the Dharma. One is understand the Dharma in our minds. That is making liberation to us. That is the coming to our mind. That is very important. Of course, ultimate, when we say my ultimate a source of refuge, Buddha, maybe that is your Buddha nature. That Buddha nature is yes, sure, that is your source of the ultimate source of refuge. That is you kind of making manifestation. Then it's forever happy for you. That's like this. But if you cannot make manifestation, you have this wonderful, kind of the magnificent, things, jewels we carry all the time, but it's kind of the useless at the moment because we cannot use. For instance, if you cannot drive, someone says give you one fantastic car, maybe a few €100,000, and make gold, strong, everything. They say, okay, we can give to you. You have that. But you cannot drive. Then you choose to put on the garage, it's useless. You can't drive. But if you can to drive, you can to wherever you want, you can to go traveling. Like this. We, in the garage of our mind, there's the extraordinary vehicle that is your true nature realities. But at the moment, we cannot use, we cannot drive. I make joke that's like this. Therefore, need to think a little bit about the negative actions. And also during in the study Vajrasattvas, we just the external and the power of the support, the teacher of the Vajrasattva, and then it's like we are regretting to how much we done the negative things, we concerning our negative actions, and also the effects of the disturbing, like the obscurations. And then it's like now we understood that our confusion, our ignorance, our like kind of the problems, and that we understood, then it's like we are now like have perfect virtual idea thoughts, is resolutions, say I will never do it again. And also it's like according to your discriminating wisdom or the wisdom of the mindfulness, you have all the times attentively to have mindfulness, and all the time is the movement of your body, speech, mind. There is the great guardian, great like a kind of the gatekeeper of the mindfulness, and any kind of the disturbing emotions want to act the negative actions, you immediately kind of the attentive is a kind of the sending message, great like a guardian of the mindfulness. Then it's like vigilance to change, never doing all the times to have like a antidote. Like this kind of the four powers purely, utterly, unmistakably to keep into your mind. And like this, then we are recited the mantra of the Vajrasattva. Yesterday there is how to visualize, how to purify the pouring of the nectar, and to first we have to purify ourselves, how we become the benefit ourselves about level of the Dharmakaya, and afterwards it's like we become the self Vajrasattva, sending luminosity, emanating, and like absorber and the kind of, and to making the offering, to do the like great accumulation and purified all the other sentient beings obscurations. Like these visualizations already we studied, this kind of pure perception, this kind of the extraordinary your meditation. It is like meditation of the creation stage. And like this, he today said that recite the mantra as many times as you can. That's right, as much as you can. That is like a kind of the Patrul Rinpoche's teacher, Jigme. He sometimes order to student need to do Vajrasattva mantra. It's like he says, like each monk they should do 100 million or 200 millions, and sometimes like 10 or 20 millions. That's what I'm saying. And but anyway, it's like kind of they all the time is like at least like 20 or 30, 100,000 Vajrasattva mantra they should need to do like this. And then afterwards you can to teach Dharma, you can to make a puja for the benefactors, and you can do really to pray to the others. Then is this kind of the blessed like this. Here is the recite the mantra as many time as you can say, but at least per day, it's like kind of 5 or 7, 25, or like kind of the 108, one mala. It is very important. In the VAJRASATTVA explanation, Sutta said, it's like if you every day and one mala you do the recite the VAJRASATTVA mantras, 100% is you can to purify all your obscurations. And also it's like if you per day you recite the 25 the VAJRASATTVA mantra to recite, you kind of the reinstalled or like kind of the purified whatever you done violation of Buddha's edict, or it's like kind of the breaches or any kind of the samaya breaches or any kind of the vows downfalls. And that is like kind of never like this negative actions, defects, or like kind of the making tendencies. It's naturally every day, if you possible, 25 times, or at least sometimes 5. At minimum, maybe it's like 3. Maybe you need to kind of commitment. I make joke, my lazy mundo is like in the morning I do. Like I say just Lamanchen, I call into my own root teacher. And afterwards, I recited the Kunchusung with Deshit Zavas and Salon Tilirong Yonchus, Ngovorong Yutuji Jonkola, Yonchin him with part the absences. These 3 times. Then it's Buddha Honaso Nomache the Zenrija 3 times. Then I direct to recite the VAJRASATTVA mantra. And there is, of course, first there is how to visualize. This is when I have time, no lazy, of course, but not like this. I'm be lazy. Just wake up this first like calling Lama and taking refuge pray, bodhicitta pray. After direct on Benza Sato Samayaman Palace. And then it's like I'm all the time lazy, but 3 times. List 3 times. 1 is like kind of regular. It's just sometimes 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Of course, I'm very lazy. 5 minutes is a lot of. After on Benza Sato, given the near the Dorji Sembanda in Rovaji Chomar, they salango pashos. And then if you do some Guru Yogas, maybe mandala, presentation, these things is I'm like very lazy, don't do. And Guru Yoga, you can see as Hong Jerij, the 7-line prayer once, and then Maham Benzangar Masa the whole day, anytime. And that is like kind of short I'm doing. But this is like kind of, if possible, to regularly on break way to daily practice. Maybe a little bit kind of the benefit. Of course, we have like there's a short hondo and longer hondo every day once you do. Wonderful. That is like inside maybe just 3 times recite VAJRASATTVA. And wonderful this. And short hondo is 3 times. Then sometimes we are very strange. Sometimes we have very much renunciation and really thinking about the death, impermanent. Then it's like a kind of the breathe. Say, oh, now I need to do dharma practice. And that moment is really you want to, and also maybe almost to 24 hours you can to practice. Then it's like 1 day, 2 day, 3, lesser. Maybe 1 week, 2 weeks after that, yeah, okay. Today I do or not do. And then 1 month, I think it's like kind of hesitation is coming. And then 2 months, and then need to give up, impossible to do. This sort of our like diligent is very weak, very kind of the shakeable. And that is like, therefore we have kind of the problems. And therefore we often to say to study again the mindfulness, the 4 reminders: human existence, impermanent, causality, defects of the samsara, so on. Like this. And when the time comes to conclusion, the session, visualize that the whole universe, which you have been perceiving as the Buddha field of manifest joy, dissolve into the being, dwell in it, the Vajrasattva of the 5 families. Now it is like kind of the time of the dissolution meditations. This is like gradually, like kind of the to vanish into the natural realities. That is kind of to say, one is like times comes to the conclusion. Maybe it's like your time, you need to make breakfast, you need maybe the end of the session. Some is like retreaters, they have 4 sessions, morning 2 sessions, in the evening 2 sessions, 4 sessions. In the morning first sessions finished, conclusion. Now I need to do the conclude, because I want to make tea, food, and so on, like this. Session, visualize that the whole universe, you like kind of the liberated, when you are like kind of be the boss of the Vajrasattva. Yourself is like the important principle Vajrasattva, and then from your heart there is a later blue hole, and different like 5 letters you send it luminosity, all the externally like kind of the universal transformed into the manifest joy, like Buddha field of the manifest joy. And then inner all the sentient beings you transform into the different color, like kind of the respectful of the matters, like kind of white, yellow, red, green, blue, and you transform the different color of the Bodhisattvas. And inner all the sentient beings of the Buddha field of the manifest joy, and you transform into the Vajrasattva different. Now is the dissolved into the being, dwell in it, whoever it is, like kind of one by one, like kind of the Vajrasattva of the families. It means like all the Eastern Vajrasattva family of the white, like a kind of the dissolved into the single Vajrasattva, once Vajrasattva. All the like South Vajrasattva family of the yellows, dissolved only one. And in the like kind of the Western, all the Vajrasattva family of the yellows, dissolved one, like kind of the single. And then is the North, also all the Vajrasattva green families, dissolved to the on. In the middle, the 4 cardinal directions, all the blue Vajrasattvas dissolved into the like kind of the middle. And then there is only the 5 like kind of the Vajrasattvas. These are the representative of the 5 Buddha families. Then these deities, those 5 families of the Vajrasattvas, deities, themselves then gradually melt into the light and dissolve into the universe. Each one is like human form, Vajrasattva's form, to melt it into like a kind of the Eastern, this Vajrasattva become like luminosity water ball, dissolved into the you. And also South, think the Vajrasattva yellow one, dissolved into the like light yellow ball, dissolved into the yourself. And the Western red like a Vajrasattva dissolved into the light ball of the yellow and also dissolved to you. And in the North green Vajrasattva also become the light green ball, dissolved into the you. And finally all the 5 another 4 like kind of the Vajrasattva white, yellow, red, greens dissolved to you. Now there is only you yourself, Vajrasattva. Then you yourself melt into the light from the outside inwards, and outside, externally, arm and leg, all the attribute, everything's dissolved into it, and to kind of the going to the in the heart level, and dissolved all the body, everything's dissolved. That light dissolved into the in your heart. Then only like kind of after there is the in the heart level, there is like how do you say, only 5 letter, like the 6 letters, only this there's nothing kind of then it's like ourselves, externally, body, clothes, attribute, ornament, even the kind of the white lotus, or if you visualize the lunar disk of the moon, everything is dissolved luminosity into the front of letter Om. Then it's like Om dissolved into the Vajras, and like kind of the south yellow one, the Vajra into the Sa in the western is like kind of the red, the Sa into the To green, then it's a To into the Shachu. Shachu means it's like in Tibet later, under there is kind of one, and normally it's a later Hon has like Shachu, Hako, and Dasi, and Nanda. There is normally that there's a Tile Bindu upstairs. There's 5 kind of the characteristics kind of. Yes, and Bindu, I say Shacha, Achon, Wachon, there's small, then has big, then is this moon and the sun, Tile. And this one, then Shacha is like kind of the home on the Alan, Achon. Then is Achon is a Ha, big one. Shacha into the small A, Wachon. Small A into the body of the Ha, big one. The body into the head. And then is lead into the presented moon. And then it's like presented into the Bindu, and the Bindu into the Nandazit. Bindu is like kind of the round one. Top of there is like normally is Nanda, means it's going 1, 2, 3. It's very tiny, very tiny, very tiny. This one is slowly and disappeared. Then that moment you need to maintain your natural state. That is like dissolved into the natural, the space, like kind of the expanse of the natural space. And that is the realities. This is like kind of we call the dissolution. You can then Nanda in a turn like a rainbow vanishing into the like kind of the space, like a kind of the cloud disappearing into the space, or like kind of the rainbow sometimes shine in the space, some different condition, but certainly, and like kind of the vanish into the space. Like this, all this like an external, these things, all the like creation, this visualization dissolved into, or the vanish into your natural Buddha nature, natural like kind of the space, dissolved into the simplicity, free from any concept and elaborations. And that is the most important, concepts. Free from abundance, and also free from increase. This is like kind of we call it's a natural state. It's you cannot any kind of make the elaborations to say it is good, it is bad. You cannot apply this sort of. You cannot to say that this is samsara or nirvana. And therefore we call that natural. And there is like kind of the, you say it's like existent or no existent, neither or either, like whatever you apply, you cannot apply. Therefore we call the natural, therefore we call the simplicity. Simplicity, that means is like kind of there is no turmoil, there's no kind of the like a kind of the pure times or decadent times or any kind of no existence. And therefore you cannot, there is a liberation. You can't say the existence, you cannot say no existence, because it is the source of the all the samsara nirvana's phenomena. And then it's like it is into like kind of the contradict, not is contradicted. Then what it is kind of the untalkable, unlike kind of the like kind of expressible. But therefore he said here is the like kind of the free from any concept and a liberation. You cannot liberate any. This is like kind of the, we normally need to a little bit concern, no liberation. We are the living in the natural state. We are comes from natural state. We are living in the natural state. We dissolve into the natural state. But it's like come from natural state. Yeah, for example, we can to look at the source of ourselves, where we are come from. From parents? No, that's actually not realities. And where is the come from? From space? Space is emptiness. There's almost a kind of the causeless. And then it's like, for example, something in the on the past, how many something happened, like in the universe. We're talking about the 45 billion years started the human being in the universe. It doesn't matter during the 45 billions how many sometimes happened in this world, but where they are gone. Now we can to look, all of them is just disappeared. There's even the no trace, like a similarity. For example, it's like a general ordinary peoples, like they are living in the house. They say it's like, this is my house, and every day you constantly your house. But this house is not permanent. This house is every picosecond is changing. Yesterday our house is never ever coming to today. If yesterday house is coming today, then our house is indestructible, never ever to disappear. But this is contaminated, disappeared. Yesterday house, today house, completely different. Same as our body, same as the universal, everything is like this. And then it's like, where is our source? Very difficult. And therefore it's like we are free from the origination. There's no origination. And in the future we are thinking, where we are going. We don't know. We are on the space. There's no destinations. Space, no directions. Like east, north, south. There's nothing. We exaggerate up, down. But just we are in the space. There's no destination. You say it's like, where is my tomorrow body? Where is my tomorrow universe? Where is my tomorrow something? It's nothing there. 1 picosecond or 1 minute in the future, there's no exit. We can't see. There's nothing existence. Then is we can talking about, presently, surely I'm living here. I am here. But that is also not really truth. And like a kind of, I say, I don't want to change it. But you are, each moment is changing. How much you are changing is like when we are during the studies, you are moving around. It's like each moment changing. It's all the time. Not like this. You are changing. This is also changing process. There's even you want to maintain to sit, impossible. there is the present permanent seat is no existence. Therefore, our self is the free from of the three times, like kind of the no origination, no future, no present. Then is what? Because we are living in the natural state, therefore we're talking about the free from any concepts and liberations. Remain relaxed in that state for whiles. Maybe if you are really to honest to think, like a little bit to meditate on it, sometimes relaxation is coming. Maybe it's like kind of to bring your mind to home, to really it's like centered itself, not running after your discursive thoughts. And how I can to meditate, how I can to listen, how I can to make something attractive, how I can to like kind of to do some successful things. And like kind of the crazy monkey mind is to running around. And this sort of to a little need to settle down, and settle itself, and then it's a little bit kind of the remind, relaxed in that state. This is what need to do now, the meditation. For example, if you say it's like, oh, I need to introduce natural realities. Firstly, basically, then you need these relaxations. Without these relaxations, it's impossible. For example, if you can to say, oh, wonderful, this book, they said, I want to read. Can you give me these books? Then there's a giver book say, did you study? No, I didn't study alphabet, but I want to read. Can you give me? Then, okay, give maybe gift, but this book is useless. You need at least the notion of how you can to read and how you can to like basic grammar or like kind of to understand them. If you cannot read, if someone's give you book, it's just useless, it doesn't infect you. Maybe this book says fantastic, will be very important talking, but you can't read. You cannot read. The book is not very much useful. And therefore, it's like as much as remain relaxed, this instead of this simplicity, and like this as much as whiles. Then, when thoughts start to arise, see clearly the whole universe and the beings at the certain contain as the Buddha field of the Vajrasattva. Then you like kind of certainly thoughts is coming, arise, not kind of the transform into the like disturb emotions. You need to like kind of from this natural state and coming something thoughts, you need to like kind of visualize the same as the before. You like yourself as Vajrasattva. All environment is Vajrasattva's field, and also inner all the sentient beings also Vajrasattva. This sort of to visualize and that state, then you need to dedicate. To say is dedicate the merit with the word this one. Given the inner dorje sembandojin malivate salangopahos, by the merit of this practice, may I quickly attain the level of the Vajrasattva. That is very easy to understand, and so on, and say other prayer of the aspiration. That is the very important. Buddha Shakyamuni, he is like kind of the inspired 500 aspirations during this turmoil and decadent times. And then it's like kind of he be enlightenment. Like this, after your section is finished, maybe you can to pray different, like kind of the important prayers. Maybe it's very, very important. Probably we can to stop 5-10 minutes. Why not? We are kind of the freedom. 15 minutes.